What's up, guys? It is me, Zenobia Darling. I am so excited to announce this. My podcast, #Rockstar Life Coffee Break with me, Zenobia Darling, is officially launching September 30th. So make sure you like and subscribe everywhere you can find podcasts because I got some good stuff coming your way. So a lot of times when I'm at the State Theater and we're just kind of like goofing off, I'll get in the recording studio that's upstairs on the balcony. It's a private space, so don't try to come up there unless you like work there like me. But I get up there and will start getting the recording booth and start doing comedy monologues and kind of working on my craft. So this is a monologue I did, I would say back in April. I did a monologue about villains on The Real Housewives. And it's a little espresso shot teaser for you, kind of get you a little wet for the podcast. And remember, September 30th, I have a lot of stuff going on that day, but I am launching the podcast officially. And I got some good guests coming up, so make sure you like and subscribe. All right, let's go to find out about the real villains of The Real Housewives. It's me, Zenobia Darling. You're listening to #Rockstar Life, the Coffee Break podcast. Let's go. Where the hell's my cold brew at? Before we get started, I'm just going to say this. Just my little disclaimer. I am a comedic drag queen. Do not take anything I say seriously. I'm just bitching about reality television using my scholarly theater brain. Like, I theatrically study reality television and The Real Housewives. So this is just me giving my scholarly analysis about a reality show. Don't come for me. Don't sue me. And it's all comedy, so let's laugh at it. And I just want to get started talking about villains. Like, humans are complex creatures, and the world is not this, like, we have the good guys and the bad guys, you know? Every human is capable of really good things and really bad things, and that comes across on reality television, and that is what really gives a lot of richness to reality television and to these people. And these villains, quote-unquote villains, that's what makes Real Housewives. That's what makes us want to watch the shows. And all Real Housewives, they have really good things happening, but they also, you're seeing some of their issues and some of their shit and some of their mental neuroses that are coming out. And that's what makes it good. I mean, I find that stuff so fascinating. And when it comes to Real Housewives and just really good reality television, you can see this with all the Bravo stuff, some of the Mob Wives, some of like the VH1 reality shows, TLC, you can even see it. You know, that's part of the subtext of reality television that I really like to theatrically study, because we look at Shakespeare, you talk about the psychological and the social issues and the sociology of it. I mean, Freud watched Oedipus and got a whole, psychology theory on it that, is still studied in colleges today. That type of stuff exists in reality television, and that's the type of stuff that you can have commentary on. So that is what I'm doing. And with the Real Housewives in particular, I really like the awful housewives. I mean, I really like Ramona Singer, Luann. I mean, I got a whole list here. Dorinda, Kim Richards, Lisa Rinna, Kelly Dodd. Kelly Dodd. I love that bitch. She's a horrible person, but I love her. Leanne Locken, one of my number one favorite housewives. So those are the housewives we're going to talk about. And I also added Kristen Doute in there because she's coming back after the whole Scandival because they saw where they teased her on the Bravo show. So we're going to get into Kristen Doute, but let's get started into our first villains, are the Real Housewives of New York City. Real Housewives of New York City is by far the best franchise ever. I'm so sad that they canceled it and they're rebooting it because Real Housewives of New York City needs to be studied in theater school. I mean, it is high comedy, it is high reality show theater, it runs on all cylinders all the time, and Ramona Singer by far is probably one of the best Real Housewives we ever have. She can't help but be herself. She's a nut job. She's very Trumpian. She's probably one of the most Trumpian Real Housewives we have. She even voted for Trump, and she parties at Mar-a-Lago. So she's in that world, which I find just fascinating. But Ramona Singer, I mean, she just does so many things. It's turtle time, like a fine wine. Oh, I just get better with time. when I hear her, when I hear that voice with those bug eyes, I get so happy. And like, I wouldn't say Ramona is really an awful person. I just would say that she's someone who she has a level of neuroses and she has a level of trauma to her that like she's not afraid to use to get her way. Like we saw that play out when she left the Berkshires. She had like the trauma flashback in the woods. And I'm not making fun of trauma or abuse. Like I'm just saying like through the show, she kind of used it to go to a party at the Hamptons because she didn't want to be at what's her face's Berkshire's house. Before Dorinda, it was Heather Thompson has a house in the Berkshires, and if you remember, Ramona went up there, and of course she's menopausal and she has hot flash. She runs hot like I do. That's why like I really get Ramona because I'm like that's me walking in. Who's being cheap with the AC if it's not set on like 68? Like. Or there was an AC in Heather's house in the Berkshires. So Ramona straight up got like Home Depot to deliver a portable AC for the room. And like, that was like that Berkshire trip, like before Dorinda, before all that was Ramona's at her peak. It was beautiful. It was amazing. But like, that's the type of stuff where like being a villain, I love. Like who's going to show up and like buy a portable AC and put it in the ductwork. Like they didn't get duct, but it was like they had ductwork to vent it out the window, and it's like one of those portable things. And she's like, that's something I would do, and that's relatable. And that's the type of villain that Ramona is on The Real Housewives, and it's so delicious. I mean, she's always about selling her shit or plugging her shit, her True Faith jewelry, her Ramona Singer Pinot Grigio, which I have tried. It was good. I loved it. What else? Her skincare line. She's now doing real estate. And she's also not afraid to break the fourth wall, like in later episodes, which I appreciate. And just Ramona Singer just is, she's so, I love her. I absolutely love Ramona Singer. She, top-notch housewife, top-notch villain. You need to respect Ramona Singer. So the next villain on Real House of New York City I want to talk about is Countess Luann de Lesseps. This drag queen, because I think she's a fucking drag queen. She has had such an arc on Real Housewives. I mean, she came out with "I'm the Countess," and she talks like me. She has a deep smoker's voice because she chain smokes, and she talks like this, and she's I'm the Countess, and I love the elegance and the sophistication of being in the city. Like, I love it. When I hear Luann, but Luann's also, she's not a villain. But her narcissism and her lack of self-awareness kind of leads to some villainous traits in her, which I appreciate 100%. I mean, she doesn't have that self-awareness, and I just think it's beautiful, it's gorgeous, it's just I can't get enough of it. I mean, it played out probably, so in the beginning, when she was married to the Count, and she was the Countess, I'm the Countess Luann, and you don't... And I remember Ramona it was Bethany introduced Luann to her driver as, this is Luann. And she's like, honey, when you're with the help, it's Countess de Lesseps. And Bethany's like, who the fuck cares? Like, which I agree. I mean, I don't like that. I don't like the fact that she said help. Like I'm cool with the janitor. I'm cool with the CEO. Like that's how I think you roll. You treat everybody the same with the same amount of respect, no matter what their jobs, they're still humans. I don't really get into that, but she does. And let's backstory into the De Lesseps family. They are rich as fuck because the De Lesseps family is what built the Suez Canal and controlled the tolls for the Suez Canal for France. So they are loaded, honey. They are loaded as fuck. And, and was he really a count? I mean, I think it was just title, but it stuck. Well, he was having an affair in Morocco. I mean, you heard stuff like, there were hints about it. They had an open marriage, but they eventually got divorced. And that's when Luann, like, I don't know if she went through like a depression or something, but she definitely got a little more villainous. And then she got really hungry for dick, I'm just going to say. I mean, she loves men. She loves fucking men. And that's where the coolness, don't be all uncool, darling, that type of shit. No, what did she say? What did she say to Heather? Heather, I thought you were a cool girl. Just like, be cool. Don't be all like uncool. Like that's when that Luann came out. When she fucked the Johnny Depp pirate and then lied about it in French to her boyfriend. Like that's the type of shit where I'm like, she wants the dick and she wants to live this like villainous, sexually deviant lifestyle where, I mean, not even sexually deviant. Like, she just wants to get fucked. Like, I completely appreciate it. I understand that about her. But that's when she started morphing. And then that was also when, you know, she got married to Tom D'Agostino, which that turned into a hot mess, who, I mean, why she did that is still a mystery. I mean, he was fucking everybody at the damn Regency. I mean, we all know this story. If you watch Real Housewives of New York City, you know this fucking story. It's like always there. She was drinking, partying, boozing, you know, chain smoking cigarettes, and then she got the DUI arrest in season 10. And that was one of the best. I mean, my favorite line on Real Housewives of New York City is where Luann's on the phone coming out of rehab. She's like, I've been to, what did she say? I've been traveling. I've been to prison. I just want to be close to home. And that's when you started seeing the more humanity of Luann. But then also, like, when she's in Miami doing her cabaret bullshit, because now she's a cabaret star, when she started seeing, when she kind of used that in very drag-esque way of doing the cabaret to kind of get through the toughness of it. She, oh my God, I just lost my fucking train of thought. So Luann, when she started doing cabaret, that was where the more narcissism, the more lack of self-awareness really became evident, because when they were in Miami on that most recent season where like Bethany flipped out and was like, life is not about cabaret, and had that Shakespearean, that was such a good episode, that meltdown, that monologue, that's when she had that monologue towards her, because she was not self-aware. She took Sonia to an AA meeting, and Sonia had poor Sonia, she's an empath. I love Sonia too. Sonia has some villainous qualities, but I mean, and Sonia has that really good moment in Atlantic City. I'm going to add Sonia into it. Okay, so Sonia goes to the AA meeting, and it's like, I just darked out. And Luann is too busy going to the fucking Miami Fillmore, or whatever the fuck that, I don't even know if it's some theater that she's doing the cabaret at. I'm going to take a picture in front of my poster. And she forgot the truffle fries, and it just pissed everybody off. And boom. That is what happened, and it was beautiful. And that's that self-aware, that lack of self-awareness is so amazing. And I do think there's also some mental illness going on with Luann that they won't talk about. I do think she allegedly has some serious mental issues that definitely played out that season, and they were kind of dancing around it on the Housewives and on the reunion. And then it's gorgeous. That's why I fucking love Luann. Not Countess Luann de Lesseps, A-list housewife, one of my favorites. Ramona, Sonia, Luann, and Dorinda. Bethany too. And I would honestly add Tinsley into it. They are A-list housewives. I mean, they are top-notch, amazing housewives, and they're part of what makes New York City the best franchise ever. So I wasn't going to talk about Sonia, but there was one moment of Sonia that it's probably my favorite episode in New York City of all time. It's when they're going to Atlantic City in season 7, I believe. And the episode starts out, it's torrential rain in Manhattan with the jazz music, the jazz music playing. Torrential rain in New York City. And next thing they cut to is Heather being like, you fucking bitch, Lady Morgan doesn't let me in my house. And then you just cut to that and you're like, wait a minute, this started out too soon. And they get into a screaming match because Sonia, her someone died, and she had to figure something out and told him to go to Starbucks. I don't even know what the fuck it was, but that Sonia being crazy to her Heather, and then they got to get into the bus to Atlantic City for 2 hours, fighting like crazy. Everybody's late. It's cold. It's rainy. And just Sonia didn't have that self-awareness to just deal with, oh God, that's such a good episode. I could just watch. And then she proceeded to get drunk and wasted in Atlantic City. And that's the one where she's like, I partied with John Kennedy and Madonna. And Carol Roosevelt is like, no, you didn't. Which, that fucking delusionalness is why I fucking love the Real Housewives and why I love Sonia. But also Dorinda was there. So let's get into Dorinda, because she also is a villain. And I will say, the last few seasons of Dorinda, her on Ultimate Girls Trip and her that last season in New York, she was awful. And there's a darkness in her that was coming out. But Dorinda also, I mean, I love her because she is heart, she is soul, she's just a good housewife, and she's very spooky. She's a spooky bitch. She even says it herself. I'm very big in the paranormal. The spirit world loves me. I want to talk ghosts with with Dorinda, because Dorinda loves ghosts. She's very spooky, very paranormal. She loves psychics, all that shit. She clearly, allegedly has some type of addiction or there's some type of pain that she's using alcohol and allegedly other stuff to cope with. So there's always that. And Dorinda's the best because she's like a drag queen where she can be wasted, like shit-faced, and you don't know it. And like she can act through it very well, but she's always shit-faced completely. Like, and that's the other part about New York City that makes all these housewives oh God, I'm burping. That's the thing about the Real Housewives about New York City housewives that make this franchise so good, is because all of them, Ramona, Luann, Dorinda, Sonia, they're not afraid to get wasted on camera and then show up with no makeup and just not give a fuck. They don't give a fuck what they look like, where on Beverly Hills, they're too worried about their image. Whereas on New York, they don't give a fuck. They've lived the high life and they lost it, and boom, they're just going for it. And it's amazing. They don't give a fuck that they act horrible. Well, with Dorinda, I mean, prime example of Dorinda being a villain was when they went to that brunch that Bethany threw in the Bronx, and Dorinda showed up wasted still from the night before. And that's the one where they show up and Sonia goes on about Tipsy Girl, and Dorinda's like, hold on, you better back that shit up. John Modestian doesn't run my estate. You're a fraud. I got your paper. You're the hostess with the mostest. That's what she says that to Sonia about the Tipsy Girl. And just, she's drunk, she's wasted, just being sloppy and messy. That's the best. That is the best shit I love about Dorinda. God, I love, Dorinda's the best. And that's just... And Dorinda has so many moments like that. So many like, oh, here's the unicorn. Oh, the unicorn's coming. Vicky yelling at Vicky about anti-vax shit. Coming into Tinsley. Like, she gets really mean, but God, she's the best. I fucking love Dorinda. Dorinda Medley for life. I love her. Okay, so let's talk about Beverly Hills. So there are 2 housewives on Beverly Hills that have villainous qualities that really stand out to me. I mean, there's Brandi Glanville, but I really don't want to get into I can't even talk. I really do not want to get into Brandi Glanville because I'm good. You know, especially with that whole alleged sexual assault allegation against Caroline Manzo from the upcoming season of Ultimate Girls Trip in Morocco. I'm good. I don't need to go into her. But I will go into Kim Richards because Kim Richards is an iconic villain. She's iconic as fuck. She just, you're a slut pig. Like, and her level of alcoholism on the show, and like, Kim Richards should be on Intervention. Like, she shouldn't be on Real Housewives. She should be on Intervention. And I love it when the Intervention-esque dramatics of like the clearly wasted alcoholism and all that shit really starts like coming out. Like, that's when it starts like awakening my theater brain. And Kim Richards is one of the darkest housewives ever. I mean, and it's ironic because also Beverly Hills and like Los Angeles. So Los Angeles, we always think of pleasant weather all the time, sunny, beautiful weather, palm trees, the beach, year-round warm temperatures. It's gorgeous. So you have that image in your mind. And then Los Angeles has the darkest undercurrent ever. And Beverly Hills is one of the darkest Real Housewives franchises we have. We've had a suicide, we've had divorces, domestic violence, drug addiction, just really intense shit on Beverly Hills. And then also follows into Vanderpump Rules. I mean, I'm going to end this talking about Vanderpump Rules with Kristen Doty, but it's that same thing. It's like, it's a dark show. Like, there's a major dark undercurrent, but it has this facade of being perfect and beautiful and amazing weather, which I also find adds to the theatricality of Beverly Hills. So Kim Richards, I mean, and her foe was Lisa Rinna, because Lisa Rinna is the other housewife that, like, I fucking love Lisa Rinna. She is my drag mom through Twitter. I tweeted her like 3 years ago. I was like, can Lisa Rinna be my drag mom? And she responded and it's like, yes, ha ha ha, and she laughed. So I have the most respect for Lisa Rinna. She's my number one housewife is Lisa Rinna. I fucking love her. I'm so sad she's not going to be on Beverly Hills this season, but she's like my number one. And Lisa Rinna is interesting because she is a soap star and she played a villain on Melrose Place and on all the soap operas. So she is playing a villainous version of herself on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And that's why she makes such a good housewife, is because she knows how to play the part. And the other thing I respect the most about Lisa Rinna is she has that work ethic, that superstar, like, don't turn work down, do anything, like, just get your name out there. Kathy Griffin has it. Like, she has that work ethic that I really respect. And she also knows reality theater, like reality TV theater branding and marketing. And she knows how to be the villain. And Kim Richards and Lisa Rinna, they do not get along. And they've had some of the best moments of all time on Beverly Hills. I mean, there was that season 5 in Amsterdam where Kim's like, why don't you go blow your lips up some more? You shut up, you beast. And that was towards Eileen, because Eileen's like, beast, how dare you? Like, I love Eileen Davison, but it was Lisa Rinna really started because she's like, oh, let's talk about the husband. Did you just say, let's talk about the husband? Don't you? And then she went back and she like grabbed for Kim's turkey neck and then threw the wine glass at her. Don't you talk about the fucking husband? Like that shit, like Lisa Rinna knew what she was doing. She was cementing herself as like a Real Housewife villain. And I have 100% respect for it because that's what saved her ass that season. Like, you know, and also she was stuck in the van going to Eileen's house in Malibu for 2 hours. I mean, that's a 2-hour drive from where they live in Beverly Hills, or no, Hidden Hills, I think, or somewhere in the valley to Malibu. That's like 2 fucking hours stuck in the car with Kim, wasted, being fucked up. And Kim's like, Lisa Rinna's like, what the fuck is happening? Then we go on, and then later on, Kim starts acting up again, and Lisa's not playing it. She's like, you know what, Kim? Let's talk about your arrest. I said it. Let's talk about your arrest. And, you know, and I think that's when Kim said something like, oh, do you feel good about yourself? And then, oh God, I almost forgot the fucking bunny. Oh my God. Where Kim's like Lisa Rinna gave Kim's daughter who just had a baby a bunny for the baby. And she's like, I brought the bunny back to the reunion. And she hands it back. And Lisa Rinna has that perfect Lauren Conrad, like soap actress, crying mascara tear, just that one tear. That's the most humiliating thing you did to me. And oh, that was the best. Oh, God, I fucking love Beverly Hills. I fucking love Lisa Rinna. Oh my God, she's the best. And then I'm going to end Beverly Hills talking about Lisa Rinna going after Dorit Kemsley. I fucking love Dorit Kemsley. I mean, she's probably the most like my drag character out of all the Real Housewives. I actually did a Dorit look for my friend's surprise birthday party like a few years ago. I showed up as fucking Dorit because, like, you know, he's Eileen, I'm Lisa Rinna, but I'm also Dorit. And freaking Dorit and Rinna did not get along Dorit's first season. And, you know, and there was always rumors like, oh, Dorit's very cokey, allegedly. Like, that was something that was like, that was always on the discussion boards, was like this alluding to like a cocaine subtext with Dorit, which if she does it, who cares? I mean, live her life. It's fucking Dorit. I don't think she does. Like, I think she is a high energy person. She does chain smoke. Like, we all know that she chain smokes, which I completely respect. But like, there was always that rumor that she was cokey. So they're in Hong Kong, and Lisa Rinna is about to go to QVC. She's about to fly in not far from where I'm recording this at in Havre de Grace at the State Theater. So it's honestly like 40 minutes up the road to King of Prussia to go to QVC. So she's flying in from Hong Kong to Philadelphia to go do a QVC date. So they're at the last night in Hong Kong, and Lisa Rinna just knew, like, I got to make the scene. So she sits down and she's like, Dorit, I gotta go. I have a gig with QVC. I'm leaving in the morning, but I gotta ask you something. And she's like, what? Dorit, at your dinner party, when you got to go to the bathroom, were people doing coke in your bathroom? Oh, I still quote that. I quote that my best friend all the time. Were people doing coke in your bathroom? And it's like, yeah, probably. Yup. Probably. That's how Luann would say it. But, like this moments like that I just like, and then she followed up with do you trust your husband? Do you? And like, Lisa Rinna, I fucking love you. You're the best ever. Justice for Lisa Rinna. You're going to come back. Okay, so let's go on to Orange County because there's a villain on Orange County that is probably one of my favorite housewives for all the wrong reasons. Like, I think people think into her too much, but she also is a loose cannon with a temper, and she's feisty, and she doesn't give a fuck, and this is Kelly Dodd. I love Kelly Dodd. I think she's one of the most underrated housewives on the whole franchise. She's very controversial, and she has controversial opinions, and she's not afraid to say that. And she's also not afraid to say really inappropriate jokes, and comments that I think is just so fucking amazing. And she's not afraid to like fight and argue, which I respect. Kelly Dodd, you have my respect. I love you so much. And like, she's someone who, like, I think that if she was on like New York City, she would have popped because she has that New York energy. Like, she's quick, she's not afraid to fight, and she's not a good fit for Orange County. And that's why I think she kind of like got like not X'd out, but like definitely got removed, because I think if she moved to New York City and was on there and fighting with Ramona or Sonia, she'd be perfect. So there was the one moment that stands out probably the most was when she was fighting with Shannon at the Quiet Woman. She showed up, and Shannon at that point was like, she gained weight, and she's like, this weight's from Vicky Gunvalson. I can't do a good Shannon impression because, like, I don't know, I'm not the biggest Shannon person. She's not my fave. I respect her. She's not my fave. But Kelly Dodd and her were going at it, and she's like not afraid to say, like, she's not afraid to call people cunts. She's not afraid to like go after, like, just go after their weight, say the rude shit. And she's like, keep eating, you fucking bitch. And then Shannon goes back like, this isn't my plate, you fucking bitch. Like, that type of shit like cracks me up. But then the part that really cemented her as a villain to me, that like made me fall in love with her, was Shannon is outside talking to who's the one bitch that came back that was like Jesus-y, I hate her, Linda, I think, and that 100 housewife who's like Armenian that drove the fucked up car with like the two colors. I forget her name, but they're standing outside, and Kelly's like going in the window, like, ha ha, like blowing on the window, like poking at them. That's where I'm like, that is why I fucking love Kelly Dodd, because she does shit like that. And it's so beautiful. Like, ugh. And then her and Vicky fighting, her and Vicky Gunvalson. I mean, Vicky Gunvalson and Tamara Barney are villains, but there's too much to talk about there. So Kelly Dodd and Vicky start fighting. And Vicky and Tamara, yes, they are villains, but I'm not talking about them for this. But Kelly and Vicky really went at it. And one of the best moments, I think, of the entire Orange County franchise was when Kelly Dodd sent Vicky the animated pig emoji text. And it's like the pig, and you get Kelly Dodd being like, listen, you pig son of a fucking bitch. Like, ha, 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 you're a fat bit. Like, just going in her, like, with the thing. And she's like, ha, ha. And then Tamara's like, I can't help but laugh. That shit, like, oh, I love it. I fucking love it. Kelly Dodd, come back to New York City. Go to a different franchise where they can handle you, because I fucking love it. I love it. I'm going to end it with talking about, actually, no, I have two more villains to talk about, but I'm going to talk about my last housewife villain, and that is probably one of my favorite Real Housewives of all time. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have gotten through theater school, because I did a lot of her monologues that she did on her confessionals and on the show. I actually did in theater class. Like, I mimic. It's funny because she said mimic her, but I actually did mimic her and did like her mannerisms for theater classes. And that is none other than Leanne Locken from Real Housewives of Dallas. She is, oh my God, she is a basket full of dark chaos that I fucking love. She's a basket of dark chaos. I fucking love her. And she's the very definition of a perfect housewife villain. Like, so John Waters says it, that a personality disorder is a terrible thing to waste. And, personality disorders are normally informed by trauma. And Leanne Locken, I'm not I'm not saying she has one, but on the show, she appears to me that she does. And it's a beautiful thing that she's on camera because that bitch is nuts. She fights. She's not afraid to be a good housewife and move the plot forward, which I appreciate. She knows how to be a Real Housewife villain. And she's not afraid to get that edit. And just Leanne, there's so many moments where like she just fucking delivered. I mean, model the personality disorder on Real Housewives is the best. So my favorite moment was from the one in season 1 where she like off camera she's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Like that shit. Oh, I gotta warm up my Leanne lock-in because it's coming. It's coming. But season 2 really stands out. This is something that I still quote with my best friend all the time. Was in season 2 where she came for Carrie Duber. Well, there's the one where they're at the Christmas party and it's like the winter white party. And the other thing is she's like, she gets in Carrie Duber's face and Carrie's like, I can smell your breath. And she's like, I hope it smells like dog shit that you lick off the floor. That was when I was like, oh, this bitch is nuts. I love her. Who says that? Who says that? Like, come on. And then she went on. She's getting breast augmentation and she's under anesthesia and they show that door. You know, anytime there's a door and there's a mic over or a voiceover, best shit ever. She's under anesthesia and Brandy's glare. And it was the one moment where Brandy and her weren't fighting. They were friends and she's still mic'd up under anesthesia. They're showing the wooden door and all of a sudden you hear, Carrie's husband gets his dick sucked at the roundup and I know the boys that does it too. And that was the whole scandal. I mean, I still say that to my best friend. Did you get your dick sucked last night at the roundup? It's like, I think I know the boy who done it. Like, oh my God, who fucking says that? Who fucking says that? It's gorgeous. Like, who would think of shit like that? And then it was all the scandal. And of course, you know, Leanne loves some gays. You know, she loves being catty and messy with gay people. She fucking loves it. Best thing in the world. Oh, the best. And like, I turned one of her, that's the whole dick sucked at the roundup. I actually turned that into a dramatic monologue I did in theater class. I did Leanne, I think 3 or 4 times. I did Kelly Dodd. I did one of hers. I did Kelly Ben Simone from New York City. I didn't talk about her, but that bitch is nuts. She's a, like, side note on Kelly Dodd. I mean, side note on Kelly Ben Simone. Yes, she's a fucking villain. There's too much to count. I haven't watched it in a while, so I wasn't fresh enough, but yeah, she's a good villain. I mean, when she said, I eat meat, but like, do I say kill animals? No, but do I wear fur? Yes. Like that type of shit, I fucking love it. And she's married to Jill Ben Simone. Like, fuck off. Like, he's a creep from America's Next Top Model because we all know him from Tyra talking about him all the time on that dark show. This is the thing about the villains when people do stuff like that. Like, yes, people wanted to cancel her, but at the same time, like, we need to watch these people atone for their bullshit. Like, we need to watch them deal with it in real time and have their feet held to the fire because that's where they're going to grow. And you have a catharsis watching it. So you kind of you learn better how to not to be racist and not to say those things because you're watching it play out on screen and you're feeling the uncomfortable emotions that they're doing and it's purging out of their system. And it's like, and that's the part that I fucking like love about Real Housewives and why you need these villains on there. So She was in Thailand and they're at an elephant rescue place. And there is this elephant named Samboon who was who they rescued from a circus. She had like some trauma, like she was in a car accident and had some trauma. So she can't really walk that well, she walked with a limp and Leanne just out of nowhere. Oh my God, Samboon. I love you, Samboon. I was born in a carnival and I know what it's like to be ridden and abused at the carnival and just, you know, there are people out there who love you and I love you, Samboon. I just want to love her. I love Samboon. She went on and on about Samboon trauma bonding with her. And I'm like, girl, you can't write that shit. That is why I like Leanne doing that, like, because Leanne was a carny kid. I mean, she grew up in a carnival and she has a lot of trauma and a lot of issues with it. And sure enough, she's trauma bonding with Samboon the elephant. I mean, that is why she's great because you're also seeing with that moment like the realness of all of it. And it just, I could go on for days about Leanne. I really could. She's the best. So I'm going to end this with talking about Vanderpump Rules. I am a Vanderpump Rules scholar, and there is one villain on there she is a top-notch villain. She should be a Real Housewife. She's better than most Real Housewives, and that is none other than the dark vortex of chaos that is Kristen Doute. I fucking love Kristen Doute. I could go on and on for days. She is another one, model with personality disorder, alleged personality disorder that just like is too good not to be on camera. And like seasons 1 through 6, like especially seasons 1, 2, 3, and 4 of Vanderpump Rules, like when she before she really went to therapy and got on medication, when the personality disorder was in full blown, oh my God, it was so good. Her dark chaos was out. And just, you know, she's like, I'm a defender of the truth. Or I got it. That was not a good Doute. I got it. Doute. Diana, suck a dick. Okay, there we go. So Kristen Doute, I mean, right off, she's a defender of the truth. She literally flew freaking a girl from Miami there to confront Sandoval. Like with Kristen, like, yes, she did something fucked up to Faith, but like, you need to still respect her as a villain because she is a top-notch fucking villain. And she knows how to stir the plot. But like the thing about Kristen Doute that makes her so A-list is like, she's not trying for the cameras. That's legitimately her fucking personality, is to be that darkly chaotic and just like, you know, just say stuff. I mean, all the moments she had, like, Diana, suck a dick, walk away. And then her relationship with DJ James Kennedy, I think needs to be studied for all of eternity because it is some of the dark shit I've ever seen. I mean, remember, like, Doute punched James in the face at Sheena's wedding, the best thing ever. And then they get into a fight at the apartment breaking up, and it's just her gaslighting him. Why are you getting so mad right now? Why are you getting so mad right now? And G. James Kennedy, like, takes it and, like, spits on the door, like, honey, you're ratchet. Like, however he says it. And it's just, God, I'm so happy because I'm gonna end this little espresso shot with this. Kristen Doute is making an appearance back on the season finale of Vanderpump Rules to talk about the scandal. I saw her coming up with her leggings with the horror music, and she's like wringing her hands, and I'm like, oh, bitch, here we go. So with that, I'm going to end this. Subscribe to the feed. The podcast is going to be dropping soon. I got season 1 lined up. I'm recording episodes. Let me tell you, some of my guests I got, it's going to be a good fucking time. So make sure you subscribe to it. Make sure you follow me on www.zenobiadarlingcreative.com. Follow my art blog. Follow me on social medias. And I will be coming at you shortly with this fucking podcast because it's the best ever.